It's amazing how Martin Snowden, the head of sciences in Woolwich, what has La Sapienza, German airspace, some Polish scientists, and others, were wondering how you could have sent Heinis from Hell's Angels to a girl, psychopath. Well, you had these bitches right here. Watch. You see all these people watching. The Dolores shelter is somewhere there. That's Mission. Down there. Market is down here. Financial center here. And Barcadero is in that direction. And out there, well, something else. San Bruno is in that direction. Watch. When you have that many scientists speak about a girl for July 2021 who had her head smashed in on the coastlines. You're a terrorist. She gives her mouth shut. She's Disneyland. Between Woolwich's, German airspace, Italians, the old news on the news gone with the wind. This is gone with the wind. This is gone with the wind. The smashing had already happened. I'm a relic, already Disney, crab to crab B. They made genetics. It's impossible. She already had her head smashed in on the coastlines. None of your business, if that even is possible. Bacon blues. Eggs. Next. Whoever was with the scientists with that girl after the smashing head on the coastlines, they called her the mermaid. So the Italians are saying, the Italian Federation of Sport, you were the mermaid. Everyone's saying it. Mermaid here, mermaid there. You were the mermaid. They smashed her head on the coastlines and the ship sank. There was the Titanic in Woolwich and sank. Her head was smashed in on the coastlines. She's Disneyland. You hate her for the sciences. You cry for some cheap-ass Dark Mission, but not for us. Don't cry for me, Argentina. Old news on the news. Pink ass in Rosie. You send your psychos against me. Collectively. Because they're here. From San Quentin, federal prisoners. They went to London, to Germany, to Poland, police, everyone else. They're going to reopen the shit on the coastlines? No. The Dr. Parrot Schadenfreude Jr. are speaking about Schadenfreude Jr. These are the hounds of Fresno. Many of them are from Fresno. Federal prisoners. From San Quentin. Psych ward, not psych ward. They said, you're not psycho. You don't have psychosis. You don't even have psychopathy or any of that shit they have. You're not. When you say bomb Fresno, you don't have psychopathy. You're saying what you should have done ages ago. Those people are fucking cheapos. Literally. Even if they have a PhD up their ass in Fresno. And this is the whole world. So those t-shirts and those license plates are for the parents to bomb Fresno. Politically correct with Havana. It doesn't matter if it's London or Rome or Warsaw International, Berlin or Russia or Arabians. This is old news on the news, Havana 696969. Unless you want to stick in Theo Halfon 666. Why? Because they're laughing. It's a teeny weeny. America's a fucking retarded whore. I'm so happy that shit is empty on coastlines. Scientists are gone. Da, 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 da. The people who are dancing about this. Ask them about the balance. They're serious. Because they're normal people. They're not bitches like you or whores. When you're useless boyfriends. You gained -0 from the coastlines. That there is blues or genetics out there, I have no clue how they made them. Have you smashed somebody's head on the coastline? When I tried to explain to you, worm to worm, a ship, the yard, the there, the white, you freaked out on me and you keep sending me psychos. You're not deciding anything. Your psychos are not going to make Scott Glenn film happen. The father and the mother stay out of Fresno. Not the psychos. Not your bitches sitting there and slapping the tits with a PhD. The intelligence is going to make the parents stay out of the country. The chances. If you want opportunities, we got the mafia of Lorenzo Siciliano's, the Italian mafia, all the mafias in Italy are happily and gladly, as opportunistic as ever, to take the parents in and let them stay there for retirement. That's old news on the news, Scotland film at Radio Globo. That I filmed, I was in as a stand-in and the Radio Globo with Daniel and Bruno Vervenutis in high school, free, finished by the age of 15, free, connected those who were wise to Global, free, traveling with little money, free, high school with president's kids, free, college, free, maybe I'm a communist. Better by now. And you know what? The last person who said better to be a communist, guess what? By now, Scotland, yeah, no, soon. I've been holding on to this shit to keep you calm. When you were the ones instigating panic, hatred, psychos, and everything else. I had to keep my calm on the crap to crap B with all those pains. Near the end of the social security number, you're going to hear all the verbal vitriol. back in your fucking bitchy faces. I didn't need your extra bitchiness and whores. I didn't need your psycho stalkers with all those Dr. Parrots calling you what the fuck you are as woman. You are capable of being extremely violent on the ghost lines to The Hague for July 22-1. Bring it back as Disneyland. Terrorize her as Disneyland. Have to have every fucking Dr. Parrot on the planet plus her friends just drag Disney out of Fresno because she's Disney. To get her out of your animals and cheerleaders. Cheerleaders follow her to San Francisco. Same shit. Covering the mouth because they don't know what it means to be a particular corn cob in pink. Trying to tell them on crap that there's something behind that girl. That she still has a brain. The blues probably. But she can't explain it to them because they're too stupid to understand the concept of a smashed-in head on the coastlines. Doesn't come back. Not in pink and not in blues. But it happened to me. How? Well, you ain't the best in science, US. Not in Russia, not in China, not in Saudi Arabian Mir, not in German Mir, not in UN Mir, and not with the scientists, and not with the corporations. You lost that shit. You even lost the pink shit and the oranges from Poland and Egypt. And they could have worked with you, but the corporations walked, because that was the easy shit on those lines. We even tried Moderna and DACA. But if you speak about Benjamin Ofori and the pink shit, that's long gone. In fact, they said to me, that after smashing the girl's head on the coastlines, it was just wishful thinking by the hating bitches. And then those hating bitches turning on Disneyland after the smashed in head on the coastlines, after Grays and Blacks died in her with a cake, so that they can beat up Disneyland with a particular corn cob of the original girl after her head was smashed in on the coast. With cheerleaders and psychos. Where are your ass? Have that PhD up your ass. I am a particular corn cob. That's why the kids in the school were genetically different than the kids outside in the UN schools. That's why there was Chile Pinochet. The only difference is this. They're not experimenting on genes. Ubermensch are not experimentations after a smashed in head on the coastlines. You chibos. And I'm not Jewish! I don't like the Mossad on your coastlines. Insult me again. Try to shut out of Fresno Frisco with those psychos, and I will fucking kill you, including your nurses in Fresno. Every motherfucking Dr. Parrots on the planet, 250, Germany included, will sue your ass for me alone. Tits out, reopen, fix your shit on your coastlines. When I came back from the dead, why would they bring back Disneyland in the place of the original girl after smashed in head on the coastlines? To show your bitches who they are! And you want to add the useless boyfriends? Bravo! You went near my father and my mother. You went near my father and my mother. All those flyings of that girl on the mountains beyond the library. All those runnings on the hills. That many motherfucking runnings on the hills that you can't even count on your fingertips of lines and runnings. Because you don't have enough brain cells in your brain to count how many motherfucking flyings there were. The speed of that shit and the amount of fucking runnings of that girl back and forth on both parents. On those hills. Around the world. Because you're assholes and bitches in Fresno. The intelligence of Fresno, your power games, you are not even bitches. You want to know why everybody on the planet who has t-shirts with Havana 696969 and license plate 696969 all over the capital cities that many times on my crab the crabby crawlies after crawlies literal. After what happened on the coastlines, you want to know why? You get to high school even! Free! Why is there the Scotland film and Radio Globo? Why? Compromised intelligence on the coastlines? I don't think the Hague and the Bureau de Veritas and the Mermaid to be done the correct, proper way of sciences. I hope other scientists come to this country and without being Hagued or Bureau de Veritas, or she was a mermaid doing it the proper way. I hope one day they come here, they just spy, drop a bomb on you, and leave. And said, what did they do? They did it. How did they do it? How did the scientists do it? The leader was Haig, she was a mermaid, and the scientists and the corporations left. Chapter yak, Bobby. Then up go. Gone with the wind. In other words, on your soil. I hated you when you're alive. I hate you when you're dead after the smashed in head on the ghost line. Well, that's a mistake, huh? High school? Hey, but now, what about the Scotland film and Radio Globo for Babies Disneyland? Huh? Good idea. Then they can keep all the PhDs up their ass with those scientists, you know? Then they can't reopen. Oh, adopt mission died. You didn't cry for us, don't cry for me, Argentina. Shout that's all news on the news. I can't look at your bitches and your assholes in the US. I can't. Because if you have intelligence of that kind that does all those flies and all those runnings around the world, then she has her head smashed in on the ghost lines and comes back as Disneyland. And you're busy sending me your cycles, your tits, your 5X bras, your PhDs, wagging all the time to me when I am already having difficulty doing connect the dots worldwide to globals with those guys, because obviously I'm in another format from Disneyland, pin-up, Ghost Child, particular Disney Concord. And that's the old news on the news, and you're telling me that after smashing my head on the ghost lines, as Uber mentions a byproduct in German airspace is writing obituaries about that girl till today in Essa, and in Italy, and in London, and in Woolwich, and the Russians, and the Arabs, and even fucking Dar es Salaam neighborhoods remember that face. Saying she was dead, she had a head smashed in. How'd she come back? I remember the eyebrows, there's something there, there's okay. People dropping. Commotion on the streets, in Warsaw Internationals, in Russian Federation, in Arabia's, in Rome, in London. And that's not even mentioning the intel, you fucking moron! That many times on my crawlies and little crawlies, you're gonna be saying to me, first go first. I'll drop a, oh, you know what? Nigeria! We love Nigeria! Oh, we love Nabakista! We love Robin Hood! You know why? You give them that. You give those poor people on the planet the joy that the Hague of the scientists on the first lines from Robin Hood, Germany, they're having even. It's representative Winnie. I'm so happy scientists Jody. At the stupid horse, the PhDs up the ass, shit is empty hay, and you at Disney, really, pin-up girl. They're so jealous, they're so fucking horse. I did have fun. But my guy wasn't a Nazi skin. That's what you are. He's a baby. Send the assholes. Send the psychos. Send. Kill him, Jason. We are patriots. What the fuck is wrong with you, you ass? And these cheerleading bitches. You think them are going bitches gonna reopen that shit? They know that I'm not that girl. But they're happy to think that I am that girl. The blues may be more like that girl. Not Disney. I'm a trained poodle in the house. Literally. I, in pink, had to connect the dots. Worldwide to globals. I did crab to crabby after the smashed in head on the ghost lines. And when I was a crab, I took all the pains for the father and the mother. And then when I became crabby, obviously, more and more literal crawlies, you know, I wouldn't call it homeless, but they took the house, the cars, and then I had to just leave. Well, they did. More than cars, they took the house. There was one car they took, but the other car, what I sold it for $800, it was nothing. Fresno is what it is. Fresno is a joke. The US is a joke. So when they say to you that there are films and radio, Scotland Film and Radio Globo, for a girl who already had her head smashed in on the ghost lines, and it's much worse than compromise with those scientists, and the family shouldn't be on retirement in Fresno. Intelligence, the beating 5X bras, the reform of intelligence, the hospital, the nursing homes, the puppy dicks, the privates of Tom and Jerry Towers and his smelly ass and his 10 ex-wives and his lovers galore, and everyone saying he's gay, and and the local girls cheering. Fresno State. If you are in Fresno State and you go to Woolwich's, they'll kick you out if they find out you're from Fresno. If you speak to any of those professors, heads of schools, if you go to the deans in Warsaw University or Russia or Cairo, Saudi Arabia, or even Italy at La Sapienza, if you're from Fresno, even from the US, they will spit in your face. Because you're American and you're stupid. You're so arrogant. If you have a space-breaking child who was the mermaid, and that's the old news on the news Gone with the Wind. She's already been dead. Jamila's head is already smashed on the ground. And you're getting your glory fix out of that because you're mentally retarded Americans. And you can't fix the fucking coastlines. You can't even whittle the pink shit and the orange shit, which was the Kansas and the Polish intel and the Egyptian one. In other words, you can't do the Russian Saudi shit. And I couldn't speak about it. Why? Because I'm already done. You're terrorists. You are the biggest terrorists on the face of the earth on your own fucking soil. I realize your professors are geniuses, but they're your professors who are sitting on their fat ass in tenureship. They didn't open that shit on the coastlines either. So when that girl who had a ship and scientists with her had her head smashed in, the mermaid happened, they laughed. Now you crying that you smashed her head on the coastlines and those guys left with her or fell with her, mermaid, whiteheads, the corporates and others. That's your fucking problem, US, not mine. You're not going to turn to Disneyland and say, you're crazy because you can't do that shit. You're not going to say to me, you're crazy because you live in a house with such parents and you're not capable of bombing Fresno for the parents alone. No. You are crazy, US. And that is why we have 250 Dr. Parrots. For your psychos. Whatever reason. Whether it was a knife trying to rape me, whether it was stalkers, whether it was the psych shit, whatever it is. All of it is labeled as Schadenfreude Jr. Ambert, Dr. Parrots. That's it. And I know that the smile, that smile that they were speaking about, it's not a joke. The reason I was in Hollywood in Rome, in the film Scotland, about a girl who Man on Fire, about a girl who gets kidnapped, the guy tries to, and the parents stay in Rome, they're diplomats for retirement, and I'm the friend of this girl, like a standard, whatever. The reason they changed my teeth for the film, I already had, different teeth, they had put no teeth as a child, I was a genetic anomaly. But I was strong, because before I was crab. Crab was something else. It was a crab. Now it's crabby. I'm like Candle in the Wind. By the end, I'm like a horn, okay? That is after you smashed the original girl's head on the coastlines. This girl went to genetic schools. When they were saying about pink and blues, the eggs in elementary primary schools and onwards, I wouldn't speak about the blues. Why? Because Tiziana was saying, that's empty because your original had your head smashed in on the coastlines. And those guys and those scientists were with you. They left, shipped to ya, pin up, go. That's it. Gone with the wind. Arrivederci, sayonara, kiss your ass goodbye. Happened on the coastlines in the US. Nobody gives a shit because they are the fucking assholes. They're the best in science. They're the best in corporations. And they have the biggest shit. They didn't. I did. Goodbye. Old news on the news. You have pretenses. These are called pretenses. Pretenses to Disneyland after that. With all that paperwork for me alone. They called you Satanists on the coastlines. This is all news on the news. Therefore, start using your brains and not your asshole. Obviously, you're psycho. That's who you are. So, who gained, who lost, who's gaining, who's losing? It's most likely other scientists, when they see the shit, they'll just leave. You don't need to be Hagued or Bureau de Veritas and be a mermaid around the world with sciences, have your head smashed in on the coastlines. They left. Shipped to yard, the bridges. Everybody shot up the bridges around the capital cities. Atlas Bridge, July 20, 1969, my birthday. Bridge shut down. The only thing that passes is the yacht. The connection between the old CIA and the new CIA. The archive shut down. Traffic goes on it, and then little boats. No more big ship. Ship left. They shut it down on July 20, 1969, my birthday. It's old news on the news. You understand? This girl has been dead already. Disney has already been July 20 for some time. You know, the asswipe. 221 deaths. The big blues. Around the world, connected those worldwide superbars. It's old news. Get it? Fucking bitch. With your PhD! Genius! Now you have pretenses, those guys left. With me! Why you not fixing yourself? You can't even wear the shit! How many were there on the ship? That you saw careening? Flies! 92 and above for the Barons on retirements in Fresno. There's no fucking science in Fresno's intelligence. Runnings! The million fucking times I got back. Then what? Hit on the roof of the library. Huh? She becomes a crab. Crab eventually becomes candle in the wind. You happy about that shit? And she wasn't alone. Get up. You talk to me about particular gold corps. You don't even know how that works. You want to know about the blues. You want to know about byproduct, be produced in the stupid times of blues. You'll never have that. You're not capable of that. I mean, after all, how many PhDs you have? You got PhD, right? You got fucking limousines. You got some nice tits and ass. I just came back from the fucking egg, and all news on the news is the pink and blues genetics. You're the cheapest assholes I've ever seen you as. And that's not even mentioning the Barons of Fresno retirements. And the laziest assholes. And the most pretentious assholes. You don't give pretenses to me. I have no pretenses. Therefore, you shouldn't have either. The only thing I have in common with the original is the eyebrows. So calm down, bitches. I've never seen such ugly woman in my life like the US. Violent and their useless boyfriend. My goodness, where's the brains in this country? Where's the normal people? Watch this. Raping a girl on her little crawlies, trying to make her crazy, hating her, calling her names, Schadenfreude Jr. After the Hague, after sciences, after ship, more paperwork, and knowing there's blues that you can't understand because you're retarded whores, doesn't hurt to show the world what the US really is through the eyes of Disney. Do one July 20. Dr. Barrett's. Many motherfucking Dr. Barrett's for this one alone. So, while you're sitting there and judging Disneyland, they're looking at and judging you. It's a reflect after the Hague. The losses on, these are people. This is not even the intel that was lost on the coastlines. And it's obviously not Fresno for the Barons on retirements either, is it? Genius! And the only reason you didn't kill me is because I am Disneyland. And you wanted to hurt me with Schadenfreude Jr. with your hatred, with your stalkers, your psychos, and your words towards me and towards the Barons when you started stalking me, while the others were clapping. And you were sitting there saying, I'm a lady. I'll tell you what. If you smash the head of that girl on the coastlines and they bring back Disneyland, well, why is the Globals? She's more of a human and more of a lady and more of a female than any of you violent, thuggish bitches. And you know that about Disneyland. Even if you raped or did whatever you did. And one day, when they bring back a genetic anomaly of Disneyland of July 2221 back to life from the Zanzodyne and show to you what the fuck you lost long ago on the coastlines that is still emptying by itself. Why? Because she was the leader of that shit. When Hague of that kind of intel happens on your coastlines, you know it's not just one person. There was a ship to yard. You also know that there are other scientists that will leave. As I was saying, you can leave without the ship. There will be other ships, other people's. Because after an drop a bomb, they can do anything. Anyway, there's so many ways to damage the US, right? In the USA, right? In California, right? Okay. Having a flying girl with a ship that's on the coastlines, there's a big asshole. And then that many motherfucking runnings until eventually she has no more breath. And near the end, towards the roof, they smash her head on the coastlines. Out comes Disneyland, and they speak about Pink and Blues. The girl was a phenomena. She had her head smashed in on the coastlines. It's unheard of that a child comes back with that kind of science as an Übermensch. But Jamila, you beat them all. You beat them even in your death with the Hague. The academics at Warsaw University, Russia, Cairo, Saudi Arabia, who are family. The ones in Italy, La Sapienza, the Space Stack in Western Europe, Germany, and Woolwich's. Martin Snowden. That's all news on the news, darling, the nails. Your head was already smashed on the coastlines. This is your elf moment. These girls cheerleading to kill you with their boyfriends, with their useless boyfriends on your little crawlies. This is Fresno Frisco. They're from Fresno. Yeah, but they're in Frisco. But they're from San Quentin Federal Prison. Why are they sending them? Oh, I don't know. And those girls, and they're looking, and they know who they are. And there's others. And there's those bitches speaking all the day to her face and true and this and that. And then there's a college kids looking at her like she's a freak because she's Disneyland. That's what you are, yes. You're not getting back that shit on the coastlines. You will never get that shit back on the coastlines, I can tell you that. You want to know what the blues are. I don't know. I'm Pink. I gave you what I know about Übermensch. I told you what I knew about the eggs. That there were blues out there, and there were Ubers. And that they were taken. Because they're not the original girl after smashed in head. They're not me. And then my mother didn't get married. You know, the Ubers were created differently. There were other corporations in Western Europe, in UN and the UN, and that's it. Why they made such an effort to bring back Disneyland after the smashed in head on the coastlines? Pink, the living train poodle in the house, to see what? I hate you, bitch! I kill you, bitch! I'm a bachelor, bitch! I don't give a shit about coastlines, I'm a bachelor, bitch! Hurry up on that shit. You got. That's America. That's not even mentioning the parents of Fresno retirements. Scotland from Radio Global. Out of here. We have more paperwork for one cat than I've seen in a long time for Delft 221. And they're going to remember it because they brought her back after the Hague, which is extremely unusual. A rarity, as high school would say. Then now the cycle. I need to go into London, Germany, and Poland. I say, you know, that's not even right, is it? He's stronger, he's got a knife, and that's it. I've had enough of this shit. And so everyone, it's not, you see, the problem isn't that. It's Schadenfreude Jr. Because in Fresno, they're from Fresno. Look at the hospital. Look at the nursing homes. Look even at the psych ward. Look at those nurses. They're not nurses. You know what they are? Have you ever heard the nurses from hell? The governments. They're just accessories. Imagine that's just the accessories. The doctors, the guy who runs the town. That allowed it to happen in his town with his little private puppy dicks. So keep it at puppy dicks. You even have them here. It's not Johnson & Johnson. It's just Johnson. That's private. 11 years ago, they were following me. They're still here. For what? For what? You're retarded people. That shit on the coastlines is empty. They're really calling Americans retarded. Like, they've come to the point where there are people saying that's not stupid time. That's why there's so many Dr. Parrots. Why do you think there's so many Dr. Parrots? And Simon the Older Phoenix. Why do you invest so much time after smashed in head on the coastlines? For Disney. Start using your brains with the genetics. Start thinking with your own head. This is the extras. This is not even Dirk-Jan van Dam, The Hague, the scientists connect the dots for West to Bus. And that's obviously not Fresno for the parents either. Start using your brains, US. Because they'll be ripping you off on the coastlines and the scientists after The Hague. And there's other ways to rip you off. But believe me, that one, that's not even compromise. Intel. That's stay the fuck out. Genetics, not genetics. You're just animals. You're simply not worth the light of day. So when they brought back Disneyland, the reason they brought back Disneyland was to show this. I'm not a teacher. I'm not a pedagogue. I'm nobody in that respect. I am what I am. They brought me back with no teeth. They brought me back in a genetic school. They said to you, you're Disneyland. You have to be extremely strong. You're crap. Use every brain cell you have. That's crap. Not exactly Disney, huh? In these genetic schools, you're Hobbit. You already had your head smashed in. You've seen what is empty because your head was smashed in on the ghost lines. The Americans don't believe that because they're chibos. That's their fucking problem. The professors are sitting on their fat ass with a tenureship and they allow that shit to happen. Now they're suing that shit. The corporations are suing that shit. And you're sitting in your fat ass, see it careening from fucking China and you're telling me that's the old news on the news gone with the wind. And I'm already Disney since when? Pink and blues the nails gone with the wind. Well, why's the globals connected those gone with the wind? You're assholes. You're the ugliest bitches on the planet. You have shown to the world how much you hate. For no reason. For no reason. No reason. Your country is going down. Not because it's stupid, but because it's too violent. Your country is going down. Not because it doesn't have resources, but it lacks the resources of the brain. Your country is going down because your education system has gone down the shithole. And you still think you're the most intelligent on the planet in the US. And you can't admit it. Most of the scientists come from abroad. Look at all those lines and runnings. You think they didn't pay me when I was flying and runnings on the coastlines? Yeah. And when they smashed my head on the coastlines, you'll see it coming from China. Don't you think that Scotland Film and Radio Global sort of made a little power still on that shit, bring back Disneyland, that particular corn cob by Delph? And you call yourself Satanists. Not Satanists. They call you Satanists. And by the way, I'm not a sub either here at CLA. It's a visa mail for the Jews. Shut up. Israelis, I am sick of you. You understand? I am sick of you. I don't need your jobs. My parents and all those science, you don't need my science. You don't need that girl's science. You don't need the ship. You don't need the corporate guys who were with her. You wanted to get away with killing the big shit. And then you got angry that you couldn't do it. And then you showed your jealousy, literally. You're psychos. And literally you are ill-behaved college brats. And even whether you rape me or you beat me up or you do something about it, doesn't make a difference to Disneyland. Disneyland was ready for that. She knew that you're animals. That's why they made her Disney. Do you understand that? What desperation is after a smashed head on the ghost lines of that kind of intel? Do you understand what desperation is when they say to you that Scotland Film and Radio Global to stay the fuck out? Because the hate is more than compromised intel. Do you understand when that shit's gone and no amount of wishful thinking is going to reopen the sciences on the ghost lines or the scientists or the ship, the yacht, the mermaid that left, gone with the wind? Or why the globals? Do you understand that? Or are you just mentally retarded in the US? Do you know what a particular one cob is? In Disney mode, after The Hague. If I try to explain to you about the blues, you get angry. I'll smash your head in, asshole, in a split second. CIA, not CIA. They're not bringing your ass back. Because you don't have the brains for that. I did. But you smashed my head on the ghost lines, yet there's pink and blues out there. It's not going to happen to you. Don't make it a habit, US, to lose that kind on the ghost lines. That is able to come back somewhere else in blues and pink. Don't make it a habit. Because what you lost on the ghost lines was far more than a dark mission. So when they said to you, you're crying for a dark missioner, but you didn't cry for us on the ghost lines. Why was college? Why was high school? Why was elementary school? Why was middle school with the president's kids? The most rich people on the planet, free. Why was college at 15? Those universities and those professors, free. Because everything to you is about a badge, you know. You need to boast. I'm best. They insulted Israel, the Jews. We have the history of 2,000 years of persecution. We're not even Jews. It's a mix. It's just a tribe of animals. After World War I, they wanted to, even the US didn't want us. We had to fight there, fuck everyone, and get married, change our names. And then finally we could become Jews again. Fuck you, Jew! I'm not Jewish. I've been walking down the road there in Disneyland for a mile. The Jewish people coming up to me and saying, I'm so happy you're fucking dead. I'm so happy that shit happened on our coastlines. I'm so fucking happy. Like the Dar es Salaam neighborhoods. I'm like looking at them like, are they saying this because they're patriots? What is it? I'm going to kill you too. Psycho. So for me, I don't care whether they're white or Jewish or chulas or whatever. And the situation you put me in. Now, the situation you put me in was on the Crawleys. On the Crawleys, I could have just, literal Crawleys, sorry. Crawleys, I went back and forth, yeah, but on the literal Crawleys, I could have just laughed. And they call it ings because I became weaker, right? Crab to crappy, you get that. So what happened was something else. I could have gone abroad and stayed abroad. But instead, they kept sending me back. Reason? Not only that it's not compromised on the coastlines, it's Hagued. There's all shit left. And it was a ship to yacht bastard. So when they say go down with her, when it's till today, in 80 countries, 81, and when they say to you white hairs, when they say to you all this shit, right? Why are they saying it? If I'm the dead baby Disneyland pin-up girl. That's what you're retarded. You have pretenses for intelligence in your country. Your country is not perfect. When you go to college, Woolwich, for instance, let's say you go to Woolwich, okay, or I don't know, Berlin or something, and you're in your country, you're doing your shit. But let's say that those scientists are bought or something, or were in the intel in the US. All right. And then eventually those one of the leaders or others die, Hague style, other styles on the coastlines. They fell with her, they're falling with her, and it's a ship yacht, Titanic thingy going on. What does it mean? The science part only. What does it actually mean? And that I'm the pin-up girl of that. It means that whatever you lost before a La Hague is just gonna empty. It stays empty, and if it gets emptier, then you have to talk to the corporation. You have to talk to the intel agents, whether they were the Italians or the Brits or the Deans in Warsaw, Internationals, Russia, Cairo, Saudi Arabia, Italy, La Sapienza, Woolwich's, Martin Snowden, the guys with the white hairs, even the Germans with the white hairs. I told you, it happened on US soil. You could see it careening from the other side of China when the girl was doing all her flyings. And you could see it when the girl was doing all those runnings while you're sitting there, spectators of the show, while she was defending the barons. That girl had her head smashed in on the coastline. She comes back like this. You're saying to me, you're fucking crazy, bitchy! I Disney kill you, bitchy! I hate Disney! She only has the eyebrows the same like the old... Yeah, the original got my senti. There's no point of discussing this with the Americans. Because they're so full of shit that when they lose their shit on the coastlines, they're going to complain that they caused the Hague, and they still complain that they fucking lost the scientists. Don't cry for me, Argentina, my ass. You're the worst bitches I've ever seen. You're not only not normal, then you wonder why they sent Disneyland out. And if blues exist after smashing it on the coastlines, what kind did you lose on the coastlines that came from down? Hague, Bureau de Validad, pin-up girl. This girl is the standard. You know when they say tripod? She's this tripod. She's pink, and even the blues are tripod. Because if you smash her head on the coastlines, you smash her head on the coastlines, and that's it. The blues have created somewhere else. There's a miracle. You make it a habit. So, if that doesn't happen to anybody, there's very few intel that have their head smashed in and come back in any shape or format, pink or blues. In any part of the world, even in China. Those were the academics. Those were the corporations in Western Europe and in the UN. Those were the scientists that were with that girl on the coastlines. Long, long ago on the ship, on the flights, and then on all those runnings. And then this. This old news on the news gone with the wind. Your pretenses are to be sitting on your fat ass and saying, I hate you, bitch! I'll rape you, I'll kill that, you're happy, I got limousine, American, I'm the most intelligent geoscientist, she's up to the ghost line with my western hand, are you ass? You're mentally retarded. They had to stick in Disneyland out there only with the eyebrows alike to the original. You lost it. On your own fucking soil. And then you blame me for coming back from the dead. That's intelligence. That they were making genetics. They make genetics. But who does such things? The Russians, the Saudis, the Chinese, the Germans. Fuck off. Now that's old news on the news, the nails. But if you think that the original intel with the head smashed in on the ghost lines with the others is going to be giving you back any of the original intel, no. Sure. That's all news on the news going with the wind. That's also paperwork that I need to add. Because there's Hague, there's Bureau de it. Now we have the Federal Tribunal of Europe, which you call aka the pink ass tribunal with the Dr. Paris, because it's all nice and rosy. There's psychos following her, so it's all nice and rosy, because she's just fucking lunatic, and we can just send more lunatics her way, we can beat her up, we can rape her, we can do this, we can play some psych games on her, Psychos from Hell's Angels that followed her abroad with their likes over there. In London, Warsaw, and Germany beat the Grabsky and the other up. From what I know, Grabsky, yes. Yeah, he's his friend. London, the same. Warsaw, the same. Why? Because to them, you're fucking animals. And that girl was big. So if they bring back Disneyland, there's a reason intelligence brought back Disneyland. In that format, after what happened to that original girl on the Hague. And because that shit's on the coastlines and nowhere near Fresno, of course, there's delayed response of Fresno. Because it's slow, Fresno. It is. Because you have all the flies, the rise, and then the crows, huh? Hills, mountains, mountains, hills. Watch. I'm trying to do it this way. There. This is the roof. This is the roof right there. You have hills that go up here. And then you have mountains. And then here. Then third one is like this in the back, and the third here. It's called hydrogeographic surveying. Fresh water and salt water. That's fresh water. Those lines is salt water. You know. Their job, own bank accounts beyond the capital cities. My nose became Carlo Verduna overnight. I was born in Rome. Yeah. They are directorates of humanitarian relief services, also TCY USA, CRS, and down to D2s, D1s, bigger than DGs in their opinion, because even if the offices are small, will work. And helicopters all over Africa, South America, all over Asia, dropping aid for natural disasters. And some others. They went to Iraq only twice or three times, like everybody else in every single department of the UN. Building and so forth. So Schadenfreude Juniors again. And for the... No, we are. From now on, we're doing that. As long as you cannot reopen that show on your own soil with your PhDs, and that's the standard in Disney, that's what we're doing with the paperwork for that girl. Until your PhDs reopen that shit, even the cheap shit of pink cancer and oranges. Cheapos. That's it. That's what you are, as people. That's not even mentioning the intel on the ghost lines. The fuck they have to do over there. And that's not, and obviously that's not mentioning Fresno for the Barons. So, when you have such behavior, it's not normal. When they say Western royalty, they're not kidding. Why do you think everything is, she's ginger and her parents are like this dark red? They're not fucking kidding. It's not just Warsaw Internationals, Russia, or Arabia, Saudi Arabia, or Italy. Morocco's a missile, Italy, Rome, the UN, Woolwich, Rome. If you do that many flyings, and do that many runnings, mountains and hills and then, you will lose. I have no shame. But, you see, if you were born in the UN in Rome, and you're really good at science, and you work with men, Russians and Saudis, and Western Europeans, say wrong, and Brits, and you do a lot of lines and runs, you're on the coastlines, you're defending the banks. Eventually, you're going to be cracking eggs on the coastlines. You'll have the Hague, you have the Bureau de Veritas, the pin-up girl. She'll keep her mouth shut because she doesn't have pretenses, because they're not herself. They'll tell you about her, why she came back as Disneyland. You're arrogant, US. You're not the best in sciences. By no way leagues of Russia, Saudi Arabia, Germany, and the UN. In the Mir, or China. And you know that. So when you are saying, I'm a patriot, I'm so happy that girl with her smashing her goes like this, give me that, kill this, with all the 250 Dr. Barons, no one's going to help you. US, you shit. And that's not even mentioning the Barons of Fresno. Okay? That's it. And when they say you have pretenses for the ghost lines, they're not fucking kidding, because that shit, once it leaves, it leaves. They'll even leave a pin-up girl and do what the fuck they want, and you'll be sitting there going, I hate you, bitch, because you're fucking retarded in your head while you're watching Expectation. I got a PhD, I don't give a shit for your television, I don't give a shit for your limits, I don't give a shit for your money. You want money? You want to pay me money? For what? For the Hague? Oh, you want to pay me money for the blue? Roman Bazaar after the smashed in head on the coastlines. Draw the line. That's not the Barons of Fresno either. And a simple question. Are you normal? Are you not normal? Even the people who are not normal have some common sense. In other words, you're just assholes. Oh my God. And those girls who think that they're normal in colleges? Okay, I'll say it this way. I pity you teachers and I pity you professors. Because if that's the college kids you have nowadays in your colleges in the US, I feel very sorry for you. Like, seriously sorry. Like, it makes me want to cry. I was surrounded by. Then my head was smashed in. I got back to Disneyland. And I can tell you one thing, now that I see how your college kids in the US behave. And I did try, I was partying. Oh, this is that. Even the cycle started slogging this one. You know, when she was 40 years old. On her little crawlies out of Fresno. I made it look funny, yes, sir. Yeah, I don't think you have any idea what's happening in Fresno with this with the Bears alone. And I don't trust your ass. After my head was smashed in on the coastlines. I have trust issues after the smashed in head on the coastlines. I want to point out that Disneyland has trust issues after her head was smashed in on the coastlines and she became Disneyland. I'm sure you realized that George wasn't my husband. Okay. From New England. New Hampshire specifically, like me. Massachusetts, Vermont, and Maine. That's why he had his 4 houses, villas. Of course, the parents are from New York and California. So, anytime you would like me to inform you even of the most basics out there around the capital cities, just let me know. And if you're wondering why after the smashed in head on the coastlines and this Disneyland came out, it's not going to be that's much. I love you too. I can say that. And plus, the partisans, yeah, they adopted you. And they did. Jamila, how many blues are there? How can you smash somebody's head on the coastlines? You should know that. Yeah, I know, but how many? How many? Oh, batches. Like Easter eggs. What after smashing head on the coastline? You were phenomenal. How often often in history, after smashing somebody's head on the coastlines near Kim Van Dam, you bring back pink and blues. Very original. Really? So why do they hate Disneyland? Well, the eyebrows, the only thing in common with the original. But I am the criticism. It's not exactly the same, you see what I'm saying? It's like calling apples and all, it's like a vegetable, the pasta, it's like... Ale! Again, the basics. Motherfuckers. So when they make this little point out there, and these guys are saying, psychiatry, no psychiatry. Even the Dr. Paris dropped the shit out. And they were ready for it. You see, just do this a favor to us. Either you do the Skokland film at Radio Globo, or you bomb Fresno. You have two choices. Of course, you have to say it politically correctly. And therefore, comes this Havana 69696969 with all the t-shirts and the lights. Since I was a child, even high school, before high school, this is not something. Yeah, their Hafen has 668. So don't start with your games, my dear. No, it's just land. This little smile is probably worth more than your entire body and brain. Whether you have a PhD or not, whether you're from Israel or not, Chula or not, and I tell you why. Because I was a mermaid before you smashed my head on the coastlines. And when you smash July 20th 221 with a ship of intel that left her there and she's a pin-up girl, you fucked on your own soil, and then you hated Disney for telling you, Dr. Parrots. That's not even mentioning the Barons of Fresno. Okay, now, the first thing and the only thing that I can say to you is, you can say, I did it for the living, yes. And you can also say, yeah, that's for sure. You can also say, even if the science is, okay. You can also say, use your heart, not your mind. No. You know what they can say? Use your heads and not your assholes! Because if Disneyland is telling you this by now, around the conversation with the cats, the dogs, the birds, the beasts, go around in circles. The zoo! All over the world, watching what matters, that's the news, all the news going around in circles. And you're still sitting there, denying, or lying, or inventing shit, or sending psychos to this one. Cazzo Bruno, sei fascist? To be retarded? Believe me, no psychos are going to make that happen in Rome for the parents. Or for me to stay in Rome for retirement. Not your psychos, not your heinies. But we will have many psychiatrists looking at the American cheerleaders on the street who are using the psychos as pawns to hurt Disney on her little crawlies. And more than Dr. Parrots, more than Psychops, far more than Psychops for Fresno. It's intelligence. Reason? Because of what they said that many times, and because of the Skokland and Radio Globo, and because of what was lost, more than compromised, on your own soil, on your coastlines, eventually, after so many flies, runnies, and then regardless of this one. So if you're going to be sitting there and be spectators of the show and tell me that I'm so good like Mother Teresa Calcutta, let me put it this way. Disneyland by now, no! Arrivederci, no!